Talk show host Chris Hahn and Fox News contributor Marc Thiessen. Welcome to you both.
Good to be with you, Shannon.
Okay.
Good to be here.
So we get this from a tweet from Mara Gay, who is a New York Times op-ed writer, saying, in the days and weeks to come, we will publish essays demonstrating that nearly everything that has made America exceptional grew out of slavery. Marc?
You know, the New York Times has just completely lost all of its credibility. They spent 2 years chasing a conspiracy theory that Donald Trump had colluded with the Russians to steal the 2016 elections that it turned out was untrue. And now they're suffering the consequences. But the amazing thing about this, if you read through this transcript of this town hall, is that the Times reporter, the Times is probably the most anti-Trump newspaper in the country. It's like it's become a leaflet for the resistance. And the reporters think it's not anti-Trump enough. Dean Backhead actually said, this is a quote that he told the staff, "Some of our staff cheer us when we take on Donald Trump, but jeer at us when we take on Joe Biden. They sometimes want to pretend that he was not elected president." That is a stunning admission of bias in the New York Times newsroom. He is saying that his own reporters cheer when they take on Donald Trump, but they jeer when they report objectively on the Democrats. And so, you know, this is no wonder their credibility is in the tank.
Well, and again, this is from Slate. They're the ones who say that this is legit transcript. We don't have that independently, but it's getting a lot of attention, including by Rush Limbaugh. Here's what he says.
Sure.
There is no actual coverage of events and reporting to people that weren't there what happened at these events. That's what journalism basically is. And there isn't any of that anymore. Journalism today, as popularized by what's been known as the mainstream media, is now get Trump.
Chris?
I think the New York Times has been more than fair to President Trump. The problem is President Trump doesn't like it when the New York Times reports the things that Donald Trump himself says and does, which is often sometimes out of line with the American norms. And quite frankly, I think they should do more of it. And I do think that a focus on race, which the president has spent a lot of time stoking the flames of racism in this country for political gain, I think the New York Times and other outlets across this country should be covering that fully and making sure they hold the president accountable. That is the press's role in our democracy, and I hope they keep fighting that fight.
All right, Marc, I'll give you a chance to respond.
Well, just simply, they should, without a doubt, cover Donald Trump aggressively, and they should also do the same for the Democrats. So, for example, the Democrats have a major anti-Semitism problem in their ranks with Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. And if you remember, hold on, Chris, you remember back in 2016 when Donald Trump tweeted out a graphic of Hillary Clinton that had a Star of David on it that had been apparently originated with some alt-right group, and he had to take it down. And the press said this is evidence of anti-Semitism. Well, just today, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib tweeted out a cartoon by the guy who won Iran's contest for the most Holocaust-denying cartoon contest. I haven't seen anything about that in the New York Times. Where's the outrage about that?
Marc,
you have to cover
Washington. You've been in Washington your entire career. You know the difference between the president of the United States and a backbencher first-term congresswoman.
You know what?
So there's a big difference.
They are the stars of the Democratic Party right now.
Now, Marc, do I need to come down there and explain to you exactly the difference? They're the stars because the president of the United States decided to try to make them the stars.
Oh, give
me
a break.
The star of the Democratic Party will be whoever the
Chris,
nominee
you know what?
is. The president doesn't want to run on issues. Hold on, Marc. The president doesn't want to run on issues. He wants to run against them and try to make the entire party look extreme. But the president himself
You're making yourselves look extreme, Chris. You know why you're making yourselves look extreme?
Gentlemen,
you know why you're making yourselves look extreme?
We gotta leave it there.
All right.
Stay tuned. They'll be back, these two. Chris and Marc, thank you both very much. The discussion is not over, but we got to go for now. Thank you both. All right, tonight, social